There is a lot of buzz around MCP model context protocol. In this video, we'll try to understand deeply what is it and how it is useful. Hi guys, it's been a while. Uploaded a video. Sorry for the delay. It's launched by Anthropic. It's it's easy but difficult to explain. So I'll try to explain for you. I'll try to explain for you in deeply. Now, now we'll try to understand the journey of LLMs and how MCP came in between. First, we'll try to understand what is model context protocol. Let's go word by word. First one, model. Here, model means anything we know, ChatGPT, Claude, and any other LLMs are called model here. Context. For example, if you give a prompt to LLM, will give some extra information about the thing you want because it will help the LLM to give the output which is useful for you. That's the context. And third one is protocol. Protocol means the set of rules followed by a certain system, here MCP. As a whole, here MCP means the set of instructions followed by a model to understand the context of our prompts. I guess a lot of you will not understand. So in detail, I'll try to explain MCP. So at starting, we have LLMs, normal LLMs, which if you give a prompt, it will give output. It's actually predicting the next word by the data it's trained. Well, it's a big thing when it introduced, but now it's a normal. Sometimes it hallucinates and gives wrong answers to you. We all face this. Now we come to the second phase, LLMs plus context. Here, LLMs getting the context which helps them to give you better outputs. Here, context means LLMs plus web search, or cursor, which is LLM plus your code base, which gives your desired output. Now, if we come to the next stage, agentic, here LLM not only gives answers but take actions which will save our time. Here, LLM gets access to different types of tools like web APIs or local data sources or remote sources. Let's say there is an agent which can book flight tickets and hotel tickets by its own if you give a prompt. Here you give input, LLM, three tools which these tools have access of airline services through their APIs. Here I'll explain the process of what agent do when if you give a prompt. First you give a prompt to LLM. Now if you ask a LLM to book a flight, now it will first asks to tool one which have access to the airline's website through APIs. By your preferences and specifications, it will book flight tickets and sends to you as an output. Now you can think, yeah, it's all working well. Why the need of MCP here? Yeah, you're seeing here the between LLMs and tools, there is some integration you should be done to get access to the tools for LLM. That means you should write a lot of glue code here in between LLM and tools to work the things. Here, what's the problem with the normal agents without MCP is the glue code here, obviously, and another reason is if there is any change in the API of Joy Air or Ergo, which I mentioned here, then you need to change all these APIs and glue code again and again, which is hectic for a person who want to make agents. Actually, the best part of MCP is their MCP servers are maintained by, for example, in this Joy Air MCP server is maintained by Joy Air company. So if they made any changes in their airlines, they should change. They should only make changes in their MCP servers such that programmers can use their MCP servers in their AI agents to book flights. Like this, MCP will, if you want to scale if you want to scale your agents, MCP will help you. Here comes to the MCP part. Here, MCP is like a USB-C port. Like for laptops, there are charging port, LAN port, and other different types of ports which we can connect to it laptop differently. But if after coming of USB-C port, we'll connect all ports to the C port, all that port, and we'll put that C port to the laptop. This MCP is like a USB-C port. It will connect to all the tools and LLM. Here, MCP is connected to tool one, which can be airlines, flight booker, and second one maybe the hotel, and third one maybe any other thing. MCP standardizes the agentic framework. Now let's try to understand the architecture of MCP. This total MCP contains three parts, which is MCP client. Normally, MCP client is like ChatGPT, Claude, or Windsurf. The MCP part and MCP servers. Here, MCP server is contains tools, resources, and prompts. Here, tools can be the flight travel bookers, hotel booking platforms, and prompts which will help the user and also LLM to give better answers. Here lot of people gets confused to understand what is MCP. I'll explain for an example. If you ask an MCP client to book a flight, now you given a prompt. Here, the between MCP is a long backend code which is written by Anthropic, which contains the set of instructions that client and server should follow to complete a certain task. Immediately after giving the prompt, now MCP will get all the services in the server and gives to the MCP client, which is LLM, and also we can call it as a brain of the agent. Now the LLM will analyze all the services and says what service you should use to book a flight to MCP. And now MCP will use that service and books that flight and gives the output as a flight details in JSON format to the client, and now client will addresses that JSON file and sends output to the user. Like this, the MCP will standardize the complete process of agents. Normally, MCP servers contains three things: tools, resources, and prompts. Tools here can be web APIs. Here, in our case, flight travels. Resources means like your database, which will help the LLM to know more about you or your preferences. Prompts. If you already know the prompts which consumers will give to the LLM, then you can put that prompts here such that the LLM can understand the prompts clearly. Now we'll try to build a complete agent with MCP. Guys, this is our MCP server code. I'll explain I'll give an overview of this code. Here from MCP, it will import a module called fast MCP, which we named it as a weather. It uses this weather API, which gives us the weather information in a specific location. In this here, this is for US based weather location API. Okay, we have here two tools which are get alerts, get weather alerts from US state. Here, these doxings are very important because our LLM will understand the code and what it should do by these DOS strings only. So they are very important. Now get forecast. These are the two tools we can use. to get information. This is an MCP server. So we know that in an MCP we have MCP client and backend code of this all known as MCP, and this is MCP server. We have this code now. We should run this code in. We should install this code in Claude Claude Desktop, which is our MCP client. For that, git bash. In this, you need to download three things: Claude, VS Code, and the git bash. I did direct it to my file, my second MCP server. Now to install it into Claude, you should write a command called uv run mcp install. Here, this is a virtual environment. You should create a virtual environment with this my second MCP server. So, so I wrote all the code in my main.py. If I press enter now, yes, added MCP server weather to Claude config, successfully installed weather in Claude app. Now, if we direct to the Claude, this click on the search and tools. Here I got my two tools called get alerts and get forecast. At starting, I think you will not get this. After pressing three dots, you should have here developer option. It will not appear at starting, but you should do something with this file edit view or help to enable this developer options. It's easy only, so you can find it. Now we can ask any questions like give me weather forecast in New York. See here, it asking that Claude would like to use tool get forecast weather. I'll allow. See this. We'll get all the weather update. Like this, you can make any MCP server you want. I hope you understand how MCP works and how to make a basic MCP server. See you in the next video. Thank you.